Hey everyone, it's Copycat. So, obviously, I'm at work. I get here early on Sundays. I was supposed to have the day off, but due to some of our coworkers, one person did a no call, no show, and so now I'm taking over her spot for today. Or other words, other than that, I would have been sleeping still. Um, but yeah, I have my coffee, did my nails yesterday. Really pretty. I like it. Mm, really nothing to say about work in general. It's work. Yesterday I had the day off. That's hence why I got my nails done. Pretty spiffy. Love it. I've been getting more hours, especially the last 2 weeks. So my paychecks really like it. Um, Oh, sorry. I thought there was somebody coming. Usually Sundays are really quiet. We have like nobody. It looks like a dead zone in our parking lot right now, so it's awesome. Perfect time for vlogging right now. Um, the only other drama was um, I finally got to say the word no to certain people. Um, Perfect backstory for you. Um, Before the vlogging and all of that stuff, I used to, about, I would say about 6 or 7 years ago, I was the epitome of a perfect people pleaser. Say that about 5 times fast. I was really bad at people pleasing. You needed money, I would try to find out how much money you needed and give it to you. If I had it, I would give it to you. Um, you needed certain things, yep, I got it. Um, which ended in the lack of poor boundaries. I think that's why my ex was attracted to me for so long because I didn't have boundaries. And he got mad at me because, being the narcissistic person that he was, I wanted boundaries, he didn't. So, um, because of him and because of him stealing from me, I no longer give to just anybody, because anybody can trample on you at any moment. So, because of him, I now have healthy boundaries. Um, and it wasn't until I worked here, worked at Subway, that I had to have patience and um, my people pleasing had been tested, to see how far I go. Now, um, I'll tell you a little story. There is this girl. I call her girl because no downright woman or no self respecting woman would be like her, uh, or do what she does. Um, and her mindset is not um, very grown up, let's just say. We'll call her Felicia because at one point she had to say bye to working here. Mm, I got to put this down. Uh, Felicia, Felicia, um, barely made it to like 5'1". Very rude. Uh, she would end up being one of the rudest employees that we had. Um, when she first started, she was under the impression that she was going to get the assistant manager job. And so, you know, I don't know how many times my boss, also known as my sister, because she is the store manager. My boss is the store manager, right? So I don't know how many times my boss told Felicia, "You, this is just um, store assistant manager in training." I don't know how many times she had to say that. Um, it gets good. Um, and so after a week of crappy sandwiches that I had to redo from her, um, I think she got jealous. And did I mention she's like the epitome of a pick me type person? Yeah, yeah. Felicia was the epitome of a pick me woman because she's in her early 30s and stuff like that, but um she would always tell me that she didn't have a lot of friends, and I always wondered why. I didn't have to figure that out long enough, or I didn't have to figure out that I correction, I figured out that quickly as to why she didn't have a lot of friends. This girl was so mean to people. She would manipulate, she would steal from people if she could. Like, and when I say she was a pick me person, if she uh, saw that you got away with something, like, mind you, I have asthma. My my boss, also known as my sister, was diagnosed with MS. Now, my boss would come in and you could tell that she was struggling, but she's a badass chick. My boss is. My boss is a badass chick, and she knows that I'm saying this about her. So, my boss would work her butt off even when she had the diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. So, Felicia saw what my sister was going through and saw how much attention and how much respect my boss got. She decided that she was going to up the ante and say that she had uh, an even more severe illness so that people could, you know, recognize her. Um, well, if you lie about something, physical about you, people are eventually, she forgot that people eventually will find out. And it didn't last long. The mystery illness didn't last long. I think it lasted for like about a week or two because, let's face it, nobody around here actually liked her or even cared. Um, we were waiting. I know some of my coworkers were just waiting for her to um, get fired or quit. I know it's sad to say, but she really wasn't a good person. Um, Once she realized that she couldn't like lie about her health or anything like that because she lied about it like 4 or 5 times, people were like, "Yeah, right." Um, we took it as she was being lazy, you know. She was talked to about talking to the customers nicely. Even I slip up. Sometimes I have an attitude, and this is where I'm grateful for not being a copycat because at one point, I don't know where it shifted that Felicia recognized that nobody liked her, but after a while, the facade and her mask kind of fell off, and she started lying to people. Uh, that's when she started stealing from the store and all of that stuff. Oh yeah, eventually she got fired because she stole 2 dozen cookies. I don't know how you do it. And then she tried to compare me to her. And this is where the ultimate pick me type person is. She tried to blame it on me. She's like, well, Kathy, Kit Kat does it all the time. No, I don't. I may take a cookie or two, but I make double batches, and my boss already knows how I am because I come in here early, I make the cookies, I do what I need to do, and all of that stuff. I only take one cookie and I usually wrap myself out. If I take two cookies, I'll be like, hey, usually I say, hey, sis, I took two cookies. Sorry, I got hungry. I'll make more if need be. But I usually wrap myself out. This chick, this, I used to call her a twat waffle behind her back. I know that's not Christian of me, but okay. So this is why I am grateful not to be a copycat, because needless to say, Felicia no longer has her job, but she thinks that we're still friends. At one point, she thought that me and her were best friends, and after she lost her job, mind you, she lost her job taking 2 dozen cookies, which she did not think was bad at all. To this day, she still doesn't. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, she goes, "You need to tell your sister that I want my job back." And I was like, "No." Now, mind you, when she thought that she was going to get the assistant manager job, this was like not even 4 days after she started, and she was still in the crappy mode of making sandwiches. Jess was like, she came up to my boss and she's like, "So when am I going to get a raise?" And my boss looked at me because I was standing next to her. She's like, my boss, also known as my sister, um, looked at me and looked at Felicia, and she's like, Kit Kat will get a, she's like, you haven't started long enough. It's only your fourth day. Um, and Felicia's like, well, since I'm the assistant manager, and right at that moment, my boss started giggling. She's like, no, you are not. She's like, I'm sorry for, you know, for giving you false hope, but you are not the assistant manager. The position that you have right now is the assistant manager in training, meaning that you have to prove to me that you can do all of the things that an assistant manager does and whatnot. She then looked, or Felicia looked at me and she's like, I'm going to be better than you. Again, my boss looked at me, started giggling, and told Felicia, she's like, if you can outbeat her, I will be a surprise, meaning outbeat me, because I'm naturally nice. This chick, the Felicia was stupid anyway, so um fast forward to yesterday. Mind you, um Felicia got fired. Uh and at this point we were still, she thought that we were like best friends, and I finally told her, no, I don't want to be best friends with you. So fast forward to yesterday. After finding out that Felicia actually moved, because I found out early on of her working with me, or working with us, that she lived in my neighborhood. And I was just informed like a week and a half ago by her that she was going, out of nowhere. Mind you, I don't even reach out to her. I don't DM her. I don't slide into her DMs. Um, she did Subway dirty. Plus, I don't really trust her, at all. I don't really like her. I can't take her voice. You know, there are probably people that can't take my voice, don't even like me. I don't give a shit. This chick, just her whole vibe is different. And that is why I'm grateful for not being a copycat, because the way that she tries to copy people, she tried to copy me with the whole Avon thing. Because if you watch my videos, or if you know me personally, you know that I have my own Avon business. I've been doing it for 4 years. Um, Perfect example for a pick me girl. Um, she's like, well, you gotta show me how to do Avon so I can do what you do and get more money than you. No, you won't. So, uh, but then yeah, she wanted, she didn't want to, do all of the work. I told her all of the steps onto how to become an Avon person. And she's like, well, can't you just give me a whole bunch of samples and I'll do it that way? I was like, no, you got to be, if I'm going to teach you something like that, it's got to be legal. I am legally bound to teach people properly, because I haven't done this for 4 years and tried to gyp people out of stuff. And so, yeah, she didn't really like that. She's like, so you're not going to give me all of your inventory? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to give you all of my inventory. I worked really hard on that. That came out of my fucking pocket, not yours. So, yeah, she didn't really like me on that part. Um, so when she moved, I was like, yay, um, I don't have to talk to her anymore, until yesterday. Yesterday, out of nowhere, mind you, I hadn't talked to her for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. Felicia decided to slide into my DMs and demand, not ask, but demand that I give her $50 so she could pay her rent, so she can finish paying her rent. I was like, no. I told her, I'm sorry, I don't want to. And she's like, please, I need $50 as of right now. You need to help me. And I'm like, no, I don't even have $50. At that time, I did, but I wasn't going to give her any. And so she's like, well, how much do you have? If you give me 10, if you give me $10, I can pay you back. Don't worry, I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back, blah, blah, blah. And so I did what, I was supposed to do. I went off on her. I was like, look, real friends don't ask for money like that. If you are only going to call me or DM me because you need money, I don't want to be your friend. I'm not a pick me. I don't, um, I had an issue with one other friend that continuously asked me for money. And as of recently, he tried to suck $165 away from me. He did. This dude tried to blackmail me. And I told her, I was like, it starts with $10 that I give you. You might give it back, you might not. But I do not want to be that type of person who is only appreciated if she gives you money. I don't want to do that. So she kept on asking. I kept on saying the word no. And I was like, look, I really don't want to block you, but I will if you keep on asking me. And she kept on asking. So I blocked her. Um, and that's why I'm grateful for not being a copycat and just being me, you know. I like the way that I am right now. And honestly, before I get off of here and actually make food and stuff, um, food for thought. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to. Do not be pressured to do anything for anybody. If you do, make sure that you know the person and you know their character before you do anything. That's what I got out of it because I am so grateful for not being a copycat. Like, I thought I was, when I was younger, I didn't even know my identity. Like, I didn't know what I wanted. But, after turning 40, I really like myself. So, with that being said, I hope you guys have a good Sunday. I am going to go into work. Oh, the foot long churros. Yay. Anyway, I got to make sure that they did their job yesterday. So, have a good Sunday. I will see you in the next video.